Happy Terminal Tuesday, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. My name is Orhun. I work on Ratatui, terminals, Rust, and a bunch of other terminal-related stuff. I am joined by my co-host, Coco. How's it going, man?
It's going great. Sundays are back. Time to go outside, maybe, but we stay inside for the terminals. So let's get on with this one, I guess.
Yeah, I heard the weather is getting hotter these days. Stay safe,
Too hot,
everyone.
man.
Yeah. So, we have a very special guest today. I want to start off with a little story. So, I think this was RustLab 2023 or something. I was just sitting in the venue on some random couch and working on some Rust projects, and some guy just walked up to me and said, "Hey, it's the Rio guy." And I'm like, "Who?" And he's like, "The Rio." I'm like, I was still really confused. And he said, "I'm the guy with the tiger and the tiger with the hat profile picture." And then I recognized him. Since that day, we've been really close friends. We had collaborations together. We had, worked on projects. And today we're joined by the creator of the Rio terminal, Raphael Amorim. Welcome to the show, man. How's it going?
Hey man, nice to be here. I'm excited to be in the terminal ecosystem podcast basically, right? And I'm excited to talk to you guys. Also wanted to share a story, if you allow me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last time that I saw you, you told me that you hated Germany, and then now you're moving to Germany. You moved to Germany.
Stuff happens.
No, I just for the record, I was just kidding. He didn't say that he hated Germany, but it's like I thought that
Yeah.
unless you do, I don't know if you do.
Nah.
I was just trying to do ice break, man.
I mean, we're gonna figure it out, I guess.
Yeah, we'll cut this out from the recording. Nobody knows that you hate Germany this way.
We will definitely keep this in. But yeah, last time we were in Germany, right? Hamburg train station.
Yeah, exactly. I was on my way to the RustLab that you didn't want to go. Like you, such a star, and like you're just like, oh, I'm not going.
I mean, I don't remember. I think I was not
You don't
going
remember
because
that way, right? You don't remember being that way, right?
we have a friendship from conferences, and we just try to keep it alive by just showing up at conferences. I hope to see you at another one, man, soon, I guess.
Yeah, hope that we do something in Sweden, at
Yeah.
some moment.
Yeah. So tell us about yourself, man. I mean, I said that you created the Rio terminal, and you've been doing a lot of other stuff these days. Like, what are you working on in the terminal space? What are you building?
So basically, I have been on parental leave. So mostly, I have been building the baby too. This has been like my main project lately. But when I do have time, I do maintain here. I try to. Lately, I have been playing Lego Batman. I don't know if you guys heard about anything, but has been a good experience. And before that, I was playing Final Fantasy VII again. Now I'm working on the programming language called Jam. It is my attempt to make some safe language that does not need like a garbage collector, but also does not feel like you're fighting with the borrow checker all the time. And it takes inspiration from many places, like from Zig, Go, even JavaScript, Rust, mostly and I have been working on that. Actually, dude, I cannot stress how much work is actually to do a language. I think I took for granted like a lot of things before I start to do it.
Yeah, so is this new programming language related to the other projects that you're working on? Because I know that you have Rio, you have Boo, I guess. I don't know if that's really
Yeah,
public. You have also like a Twee library, I think. I'm not sure.
yeah. Like I have been working on the long story short is like I started to work on this editor called code editor called Boo. I think before even joining, yeah, it was before joining Charm. And since then, like I have been doing Rust mostly. But then came to me that was just like, well, if I'm doing a language, like I don't want to do like something half baked. Like I rather do a language that I so like I have a lot of code already working. Like I do I'm capable to work with Boo already, but I have been rewriting it to Jam. Yeah, I remember it went out in the Hacker News. I shared like a brief overview about the code editor. And the people are like, yeah, I want to use. But the thing is, I don't even feel there's like I want to share it yet. Sometimes you just work on stuff for yourself, like not for the sake of sharing it. I know that like sounds weird, like because a lot of things I do I put open in GitHub, but I feel that coding is almost like also like building Lego blocks. So sometimes you just sit there and then you do your own stuff, and it's kind of nice to do things without interruption. Like like someone opening the issue, like, hey man, this is not working for me. And for example, Jan lately, like yesterday even, like people were trying to use, and I was just like, oh man, like I was already getting concerned because like it breaks a bit like like the exploration flow. There's like, oh, there's no one using, I can do whatever. But yeah, I have been working on all this. Like there's a backend for rendering the terminal that like I talked briefly with you that like could be an optional thing for Ratatouille. It is written in Rust and it's called a TV, and I do a lot of magic on that. Like I took a lot of I would say there's more is a backend for like modern terminals, or like I would say actually modern hardware, because like I take off like a lot of limits that, for example, would work in older machines, older Linux machines. Where like if I had to summarize the project would be that.
Yeah. So going back to Rio, are you actively trying to push something in the terminal ecosystem or in Rio specifically? Because I heard about Glyph protocol already.
Yeah, I have been working on that, like mostly because Boo uses a lot of like custom protocols. I during this time, yeah, I wrote like a specification. I had like
Before,
an original idea in my head that I wanted to do that was much more empowering, but like due to security constraints, I think that was actually the problem with the old protocol. Like the other things, the Glyph protocol, I actually can. So basically, the idea of Glyph protocol was like I wanted to have like originally didn't come from terminals background like many years ago. And when I came to terminals, I really enjoy it because like there's a lot of things that are actually very simple, and people don't understand how empowering and like how if you come, for example, from the web background, like I used to work with web for I don't know 8 years before like jumping into Rust, I would say. And there's a lot of things that we do at web that just works because like the browser is actually like a huge piece of software that does a lot of things and exposes like a lot of APIs. And basically, I don't like for example, if you're dealing with streaming in the browser, like there's a certain things that you need to be restricted under, and then you need to deal with like repainting of DOM, like a lot of things that are not like they're not cheap. They are fast, but they're not cheap. And there is how why people go on different ways. Like you have like different APIs for doing different stuff. And I think like the terminals, they are in this scenario where, how can I say, there's so much to explore. And I think like Glyph protocol is just one of many things I would do at Bull that that, for example, is a protocol to basically customize the fonts, like the icons that you have in the terminal session that you're running into, which is funny because like when you think about terminals and browsers and stuff, like it's something that has been like in browser forever, like it's just work. And I designed the Glyph protocol to be of course, I maintain a terminal, so I have idea of how terminals work. I have read like a fair amount of terminals code over the past years. So like I know how the Western work, I know how Kit works, I know how Ghostty work. There's a lot of things I would like to take from each of them, like like bring to Rio, and but it's not like I'm like with that much of time lately. But the thing is, like, there's to build this protocol, like I took in consideration how these terminals work, and I tried to build in a way that like could simply just don't make it people like do like a whole, like for example deal with SVG, like to do like an engine for like like vectors. So I tried to do something simple that like terminals could do very quick and will be not like that expensive, because most of the terminals they already do things in the GPU. They already have like a Glyph Atlas or something like that. Basically, the protocol is very simple. Like so the idea is like, yeah, many people know I work at a charm, like I used to work on like terminals, user interface. And I think one of the biggest frustrations that I felt working at charm was like, oh, this does not work, that does not work, like this does not work on that specific terminal. And I think the second biggest frustration was like I could not make my application look like I wanted. So, for example, like if you wanted to add like a custom font, let's say that you work for Anthropic or like OpenAI, and then you want to add like in your terminal like app, like a font that is basically the logo of the company, like like a custom loader, a custom whatever. Like you just want to do something like that feels more personalized. You cannot do that. And the things like that is more weird is like it feels like a hack. Most of the times they're dealing with fonts in the terminals. Is like you cannot query, sorry, it's like you not can do like a search in the system to know if the font exists. There is no protocol for that. That was the first thing that I found, which for me was a bit like, oh man, like so basically we ship icons, but we have no way to guarantee that the font exists. So there's two things that the Glyph protocol address. One is basically customize the font, and the other one is actually like request for like to know if the glyph does exist. Because for me that was also a big pain. So it is not necessarily that you want to have like, oh, I don't want to like have like a custom glyph. I okay, like I don't want to add like a custom emoji for my app. There's okay, but most of the cases it's useful to know if the person has like nerd fonts installed. You know what I mean? Like so the protocol actually addressed two problems. And well, like this is real, and like you see like how it is in the like some terminals does not even show the icon or show just without the interrogation icon like symbol. So this is with the Glyph protocol, like you can, yeah, two things. Like one is query and the other one is register. It uses APC, and I think like that was one of the biggest comments I heard when I developed this protocol was like, oh, why you don't use like OSC? But the thing is like I kind of like believe that maintaining a terminal is very frustrating, like to deal with like protocols that use the same OSC, because you cannot like you need to either do a hack, like, or either you just accept that you cannot maintain both like identifiers. So I didn't want to be this guy. Like I don't want to fight like for a generic like number namespace. And I think like Kitty Image Protocol did that very well. Like if it doesn't work, doesn't work. Like doesn't work. Like you don't need to like fight for a spot in each terminal parser logic. And but yeah, like the protocol basically supports Glyph, which is a very cheap format. Like like the article goes about it. Like I don't need to explain how like fonts work. Actually, there's a good like resource about like few good resources from like how glyphs work and how color v0, color v1 works. I think was from Google. I'm not sure if it's in the blog post, but I'm almost sure. And basically, these formats they have been forever there. Like I didn't want to invent something new. I wanted something that like a extension that like a format that actually could work on any terminal very quick, like without having to do their own like parser for something. Or so this is how it looks like. In this case, I'm using the actually can. So it uses like this Nabla isometric font. So I take one of the characters and I replace specifically for like a specific like private Unicode area. And there's also another thing of the protocol because you need to mind like that security wise you cannot like just rewrite like A, B, C, D. There was a problem with some protocols that exist that wanted to address the same like problem because like you can basically introduce phishing to the terminal. Like you have like a protocol running, like someone just printing like oh change like or whom like you change O for A, and then like you change this like you change like the develop something that looks like almost like click or to retrieve some information. So Glyph protocol only can update and overwrite stuff over the private Unicode area. And yeah, in that case, like you have like few examples here, like even with the Ratatouille, there's Rust, and you see like this is like each of
Can you
those like is the
zoom in a
base
little bit?
64, of course. So it's like is the base 64 value is like in this case you do need to retrieve that information from the font. I do plan at some moment to help people to do it, but I think it's actually pretty straightforward. Like I added some like links in the README. It's not that complicated to do. There is some things that I'm planning to do in the protocol. Like there is like a update of the specification later, and that is not my idea originally. It was actually from people from Ghosty that they suggested like to have like a positioning system to the protocol, and I thought that actually was a good idea. Like I didn't even know the problems that they were like facing it because they do have like a lot of logic for positioning specific nerd fonts icons. Anyway, then it's basically you do like there are some restrictions. Of course, you cannot like send over a certain if you want, of course, if anyone wants actually like you can go over the protocol spec. There is like have been ongoing. Like Meteor also was like adding some of his like thoughts over the protocol, and but there is also there's a new version of the protocol I didn't add for these demos yet, which is uses the position API. I probably plan to do later. But the protocol is very simple. Like it requests ask if the like is already if already exists in the specific code point from the private Unicode area. If it does exist, if it doesn't, like you can simply overwrite, or like you can just like request before writing. Like here is basically a lot of code. Like this code was mostly AI just for the disclosure. Like I didn't write this whole much thing. Like I just gave the AI the specification and asked to see if it actually was capable to do. But I read our in Bool, I used it without AI. I felt that was actually pretty straightforward. Yeah, so
So
basically in this case, like I can actually do a demo with the terminal if you want.
yeah, please. I was just gonna ask, like, is this right now supported in Rio already? Like
Yeah, it
implemented?
does work in Real. I was actually literally working on the Jam version today. I will do with Jam first, so I actually can demo my own language. There you go. So this is like how it works. Like you see, like it is basically. I don't have these fonts installed in my terminal. I mean, my system don't like this. Another emoji. Like I don't like those are color, not a color emojis. Like I am using Apple emojis in my terminal. So it's basically three different emojis that I have on my system. I mean, I don't have the not a color emoji installed, but like I am if I wanted to like copy here now like and paste, it uses the same private code area, private code like the same pool. So basically, like anything that I copy here, it just works out of the box because it's replicating the same value from the private Unicode area, which is great because like this is how would work. For example, if you're dealing with like a tooling like Ask Cinema, anything actually that you just want to, yeah, like like you basically can actually customize a lot how the terminal looks. There is like three emojis family now. I mean, like two emojis family in this example, like an auto color emoji and auto emoji. Of course, the nerd fonts. Yeah, two custom fonts here. I can demo with Ratatouille as well. So I think cargo run is enough. Yeah, there you go. And yeah, that works that way. Like, and just I use like Glyph protocol extensively in the Boo code editor. Actually, I can just show Boo. This is Boo, by the way. But you see, like for example, the whole thing is like this is background color, like using the protocol for background color, and this is not a font I have installed like in the system, so it works in Linux, Windows, whatever. Like it's the same thing. I'm using the departure mono, the departure. I don't know. I never know how to pronounce that. By using this font, I basically like I created like when Boo starts, it register like A to Z like characters that I could use. So like I use this for like mostly UI in Boo. So you have like a distinction of fonts. Like there's a lot of things in Boo that is very uncommon in terminals and use like specific like protocols. I would say the most of the features use the Glyph protocol, and of course I don't have these fonts installed. Like they also from other place, and the Kitty image protocol with Unicode. So like this would work in the Tmux or whatever.
While we are at it, can you show us some features of Boo? Little showcase.
Like that is the
No?
only thing I don't want to share now. Like I'm keeping everything very secret because there's a lot of things I have been like revamping. Like I was just like, oh, but my idea with Boo is basically try to just since I'm not gonna show, I can briefly talk about it. But it's like I have been trying to understand how can we edit code, do code edit without like having to fight in the terminal, like like with Vim or like even Helix. Like a lot of times I feel like, oh man, like some stuff are just not for me. Like maybe you don't think that way because if I spend so much time like doing Vim, which I did, but then coming back to Vim after many years, I was just like, dude, what the hell? Like I felt like I was having to force myself to learn the whole thing again. I was just like, oh man, I don't want this. So I think that was my biggest motivation. Because like I was like, okay, he's a great editor, but I also think that they use constraints from old stuff that like and Vim, Emacs, like they're supposed to work everywhere, and I think like Boo is different than that. Like many people in Twitter was like asking me like, oh, it's gonna have like Vim mode. No, it's not gonna have Vim mode. Like it's not gonna have a lot of things that like you expect from Emacs or Vim. It's basically a completely new experience for like editing files in the terminal. Like I wanted to do something that feels very personal. So that's why I didn't open source yet. Well, part of it. Now I'm rewriting it to Jam, so it's gonna take time.
Wait, so you're writing your own code editor in your own programming language?
Exactly, there's the goal. And then some moment, after many years, I hope, or few years, I do plan to rewrite Hue to Jam, but that one I'm not sure. I am certain that Boo will be Jam, but I'm not sure if I will have the energy to do that with Hue either. So I think could be that I just gonna rewrite Boo and then do other things. I always wanted to do like my own cell phone OS. So be that actually is the next thing after the code editor.
Okay, I tried to get some sneak peek for Boo. I failed, but maybe we can get a sneak peek for Jam.
Of course, man. There you go. For Jan, I can do for sure. So Jan is publicly. I was going to do like Mitchell did with the Ghost. Like I was going to do like a beta thing, like invite people. I actually started doing that way. I had I think 100 people in the list, but I was just like, oh man, like I do admire him for doing that way, but I don't think I have the energy to do that way. So I was just like, okay, I will just build in public and I would just disable issues and I would disable pull requests. Like so no one can comment anything. Um like until the v.1, like there is nothing that you can actually do. Like you just need to sit, wait, you can look on the GitHub, like I'm updating the things myself. And Jan is actually like built. There's a lot of things I want to do in Jan, but I didn't even told publicly yet. I can say one of those things is like I plan to use Chris Latner, like the goat, one of the goats actually, like his research like for MLIR. So a lot of things that he does in Mojo I think like is very worth to bring to Jam, and Jam uses basically MVS mutable value semantics. So I can actually I think I do have so I was reading the repo. So there you go. There's the repo. I told like issues and pull requests are disabled, and basically there's a lot of things that are like ongoing. Like I just don't want. I decided to build in public, but I don't want the noise. Like I don't want like people like, oh, I want this in the language. I want that. Like I don't want this like now. Right now, I think that there's certain things I want to sort out, and basically is like how can I do something that feels safe without having like the borrow checker and make things simple. So that is one problem. The other problem is like I do plan to make Jan compile for GPUs. Actually, it's gonna do much more than that, but it's like there is something later for the future. And there is like things that are ongoing like testing I have been inspired by many languages like Rust, Swift, Zig, like Jai actually, like from Jonathan Blow. I like there's a lot of things from different places actually that inspired me, like Go. I think Go has really good decisions regarding the grammar. It's very simple, so it's like LR, no, it's LALR. Yeah, like these things, I think they're like, I want to build something that feels, actually wrote about it like in the article, but it's like I want to build something that is that feels simple, that the build is fast and is safe. In the end of the day, safe. Actually, there is should be a C here, so it's outdated. But so Jen has like the synthetic. There's the kind of the drop system from Rust, where actually you produce the drop. So values in the block they are dropped. There's much more than that, but there's a lot of things that are in development right now. So I don't think it's I can actually demo it. Let me do it.
Can you demo it in Boo?
There you go. Not yet, man. Dude, like the thing is like the more I because I was in do believe actually demoed Boo one time and was for a person that was not technical because I wanted to understand if Boo was good enough for people that don't code. Like you, if you see what I mean. Like my idea with Boo is like, how can I make editing the terminal be like feels like simple for people that like they are not like they never really use the terminals. So I actually demoed Boo for I think the guy was maybe like journalist or something, and just wanted to see if the experience was something like the person was not like fighting with it. It was good. Like I actually took down a few notes that actually could improve, but it's, how can I say, it's an ongoing process. Like it might take a while. This actually this PS1 maybe or is that jamstation. This is actually something I have been working at, and then basically I'm doing like a PlayStation 1 emulator written in Jam. So it's yeah like 120 KB. Like actually can do a demo. So yeah, this is the command. Like basically you have like a define the library path. Actually, there's a lot of things here that I don't need, but since the compiler like has been like ongoing forever, how can I say like is very interesting to build something while you're developing the language in the parallel, because then you're just like, oh man, like this does not work. I need to fix this. But yeah, let me run it. So this is the language, well, the emulator. So it's like it's pretty like the language is safe because like there's a lot of things that happens like Rust, like the drop as well. You don't need to defer things. You don't need to flush stuff manually. Um, there's other things as well, but like it's still ongoing. And yeah, it is like how can I say like it is like a it is a long like it's a long project. I have been 2 weeks actually doing like the PlayStation emulator. I'm coming very close to work entirely, but like is again like you develop things while you are developing the language is very tricky because like there's a lot of things that I was just like, oh man, I don't have support for that in the language yet. For example, I had to build like supports, for file system. Like file system actually is a thing that you would expect that is but for example, I had to build support for. Let me get one that I was surprised at. Yeah, how these slices work. Like how do you do the IR of like these slices, and then you do the things without the pathological like IR, without like some crazy like 2K like instructions of like accessing like dropping accessing dropping, like how we do these things is smarter. So yeah, like it is ongoing. Like this is one thing that like I think it probably will become public in next month, I would say, if everything goes well. But I don't have any other thing like that I'm working. Like it's basically
Dude,
this
I
Rio.
think this is enough. Like
I mean, is it enough? Can you show Boo maybe?
yeah.
You don't know. Maybe at some point, if you push hard enough, he will.
Yeah.
No, I just like to show like I don't want to do like the suspense, and like I don't want to be like,
No, we're
because I
just
think
kidding.
build, yeah, but like build
Simple.
expectations, I think that is problematic because
Mm.
people expect too much, and then when they use it, like, oh man, this actually sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, we hyped it up already here, so you're welcome.
Thank you, man. Like I appreciate like it's a long road, but like I appreciate.
Yeah.
One thing I was
Yeah.
going to say about Boo is like at some moment I thought in just don't open source it, but then like since I wrote the blog post, like I have been having these emails, like people sending like, hey man, I want access to this, and it's funny because like people don't never saw the editor, like they don't even know if it's gonna fit the case. Actually, there's one thing that Boo does. that I think that is very interesting. I have been revamping how language server protocols work because I do hate language server protocols. I think it's a waste of it's a waste of resource. I was going to write a blog post about it, but it's like I started work on the in the thing that could do the same functionalities of LSPs without burning your memory of the computer. And it does work already, but it works for a certain a limited amount of languages. Like I think it's Rust, C++, Go, Jam, of course, and I don't remember, maybe two that I don't, but it's I think server protocols, they are how can I say, they're really shoot to the feet. How can I say, like a gun? I don't even know how to say the expression. But it's it's basically they're a good idea for VS Code. That was basically what it was created for. Like it was created on VS Code because Node.js or JavaScript in the backend cannot do really good or really well IPC, so it's like 4 times slower. So it's better to do a request to some running server. But for programs that actually have CABI or whatever, or they can just use vendor resources, for me personally, never made any sense. So I started to work on this guy, Imbu. This actually, I think there's gonna take more time than Boo rewrite because this is huge. It uses a Rust analyzer, functionalities. There's a lot of things that is there. There's I'm still trying to figure out how can I use rewrite that to Jam. I actually considering to just keeping Rust and just share the CABI so other languages can use, but I will see. Oh, I actually could demo Ghosty with the Glyph protocol. I forgot that I have the pull request. Actually, it was Mitchell pull request, and I do have a pull request over his pull request. Yeah, it's how it goes, right, in the open source. But I don't think it has much. I can just send the link here.
Yeah, please share it because we can link it in the video description as well afterwards. There is a question from mgood asking if you're planning to open source the Boo editor once you release it at the first release.
Yeah, I think it will be open source. I don't see myself doing a business of it, or anything that is worth to be. Actually, with this age of AI, I have been a bit more exhausted of so much of slop, pull requests that comes to real. I do understand that people has good intentions, and but sometimes it's really exhausting to review code that does not even make sense. How can you address the PR? How can
It's
you talk
like
to the
noise
person?
that you have to fight with constantly.
Yeah, exactly. So I was almost in the verge of okay, I'm not doing this public anymore. I would just use Boo myself and share with some friends. But I think will be open source at some moment. I think is the project that I have less urgency to release or to do anything because I just want to get in the stage where I feel that is good, and when it's actually good, then I will open. Otherwise, it's just there is so much trash. How can I say that without being a jerk? There's so much bad projects that are just open source nowadays. I feel you're just you go through GitHub and then you overflow it with projects that 10 commits, but then people are oh man, this is the thing you should use, and I'm just oh man, I just want to polish this thing enough so it's worth to share. Some stuff I think could be open source already, for example the TV rendering backend that could work for Ratatouille. that thing works already. Like I could actually just create a repo for it and like make it public. But then when you make things public, people wants to use, they leave issues and they make pull requests. I just a bit like, okay, let me get Rio and Jen in the state where I feel like is okay, and then maybe I'll add Boo to the stack.
We got a bunch of questions only. We have one asking what made you make Jam specifically, but I think you somewhat answered that when you mentioned that you wanted a language that should feel simple, build fast, and memory safe. Do you have anything
Yeah,
to add to this?
I think it was more like when I was doing, because I was pioneer of doing Rust on some companies I worked on, and I love Rust. I think it's close to my favorite language. I'm not sure if I have a favorite language, but I was just like, like you have to fight to people, and like for 6 months, people in the company were like cursing me, like, oh man, I hate this. Like I don't like, because you need to change your mindset of how things work. But now they love it, and I think there's like I just tired of like this cycle of like fight with people for them to learn, and then it's like they learn, and then they're like, okay, this is actually good. So I wanted to try to reach for a language that does not feel like the person is actually like that could have like similar benefits, and actually enjoyed coding in Zig. Like in other languages, I felt like sometimes simpler is actually is just
Yeah.
good enough. So there's basically the reason, I guess.
So something that feels the same, but without the initial steep learning curve, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
What exactly made you make Rio, actually? Why did you decide to make your own terminal?
Okay, maybe I think the honest answer should be just like I was just trying to learn. I did the Game Boy emulator before that because I was like curious to learn Rust. Then I didn't have like the system programming like knowledge that I wanted back in time. So like I felt like terminals were actually good because it touched a lot of things that I
Yeah.
didn't know. And like I built Rio completely from like not I mean there was a lot of things from electric, but like the core was actually mine. It is like a crate called teletype writer, and for me it was great, like that I could just actually just practice it and learn things while I'm using something. At some moment, I started to get attached to the terminal, and then eventually became my main driver. And it's like Orhun with his terminal Ratty, right? And it's just something that you don't plan to drop from your maintenance
Fun,
bag.
fun fact, I just got a notification. Fireship just made a video about Ratty 2 minutes ago.
Man, this is becoming a thing.
Man,
That's
I'm
crazy.
I'm so distracted right now. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. I and all the questions. Just watch Fireship.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. But I think there is a lot of projects that start as experiments to just learn stuff, but the fact that they actually branch out, like in this case with Rio Terminal, the fact that actually branch out to something people use, that's really crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, no, neither I would like. It was funny because like I didn't suggest people to use. Then people started to use like until today. Actually, like I feel like oh, guys using my terminal is not something that motivates me because I think they should be often try to highlight to people like I'm not motivated by people using my stuff. Like actually, I think it's great, but is not what actually would come to me and say like, oh man, like get your butt out of the like the I don't know, like I'm playing video games. I just like, oh, I want to do something that people would use. Like it's not how my mind works. I think it's more like I like to do things for myself. And it's great when people use, of course, but it's like I think like if you do things for other people, then you start to have weird expectations. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, like people are not using my stuff. Like everyone is using Ghostty now. Like, oh, I never had this thought. Like I never had this feeling. Actually, I have like a good relationship with Mitchell. Unless he said the otherwise, but it's like he reached me out, sent an email. I didn't even know who he was. Like I didn't know that he was famous. I actually like to talk to him and other terminal maintainers. Like and I endorsed his project like multiple times. Like yeah, just told people like yeah, just use Ghosty. But it's not because like oh man, like I don't care about Rio. But it's like I just genuinely like to do my own, like small things. If I'm motivated by like people using Rio, then dude, then it'll be tough. Like you know what I mean? Like is just like it's not gonna be enough fuel for you to keep maintaining something.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly have no idea. Not being not being a maintainer of any big project, like me, but yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the main difference between like it's always you always make things for yourself first, like have fun making something, and usually
Yeah.
this is usually the projects that work for other people is when you truly care and you're passionate about something and you enjoy doing it, then like most of the time, well, sometimes I don't know, uh, this works out and people enjoy it, but it's never the other way around, or more rarely.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think like for example, Jam. Like I got from I paid from my own pocket to do like a logo with the mascot, right? And hired this guy. Boo was the same. Like I hired this. No, Boo was different. Someone actually gave me the money to hire someone that did like logos for Instagram or Facebook, like did for the company, and then I hired this person through other person, so I didn't pay from my own pocket. But like Jan was that, and it like people come to me like, oh, why you spend your money like to do this, and I was just like, dude, I just genuinely like the
Yeah,
product, like
you don't need a reason for it, like
yeah, exactly, like it's almost like these days like people are like, oh, why you're doing like a language, and I was just like, dude, because I want to, like I don't need to give, like I don't need to be like, no, why are you doing like a terminal? When I started the Game Boy emulator, why are you doing emulator? Like when I started the other projects, everyone's just like, why are you doing this? And they're just like, dude, can I just not do something on my free time? I need to give like people a reason for it.
it's just crazy.
No, I know, like people in the Hacker News, they got my blog post, and they start to discuss things like, I think he's a bad father. Like I think he's not like, and they're just like, dude, what is this? Like it's some gossip, like TV show. You know what is happening? Like I don't know what is happening, but it's like, but it's like people discussing like what is right or wrong for you on your own free time. Like it's just like, dude, just come on, man.
Yeah, but I mean, people, there's always going to be people just yapping in the opposite direction.
Yeah. No, I disappeared. Sometimes I don't want to code. Like, and for example, in the beginning of this year and December, I didn't want to code. Like, so one thing that I did was like just playing Dragon Quest 7, a game that I love. So just like code, like playing video games. But then eventually I want to code again. It's not like, yeah, like it's like either play video games, either code. Like I just like to do that on my free time. I don't need to be like, oh man, like I need to be traveling. Like I already traveled like a lot, like over life. So it's just like you need to give people, like to make you match their own expectations. I don't know if that makes sense.
Sorry, can you say it again?
Like you need to make yourself match other people expect weird expectations.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, you're never going to be able to match everyone's
No,
expectations
no,
anyway,
definitely not.
so might as well just do your own thing. That's the
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Warhol. He did like this crazy terminal. I didn't tell him like, dude, don't do it. Actually, I said to him the opposite. Am I lying?
He said,
I think it's just okay. He's there. I thought you were locked
so
into the
no,
Fireship
no.
video. You're back.
He basically said, I don't have any comments. I just support you in whatever you do. He said that.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
A
I'm
true
not gonna
goat.
be this guy that, oh man, you should not do it. No, like, do it. Like, like, why he should not do it?
Is there really any reason not to chase any project?
Unless you're doing this for people, like in general, like if you're doing something like they want to become a product or you want to
Yeah.
do something because you want people to use, I think like there is a different motivation. For example, when I talked to Mitchell when he was doing Ghosty, he did because he wanted to do for himself. You know what I mean? Like it was like he used the terminals for a while. Like people were not fixing his issues, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I want to do my own stuff." And there you go. Like you don't need to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do something just for the sake of like a million, like millions of folks using it." I don't know.
It's cool because I feel like the terminal has never been so popular lately. We're seeing like the ecosystem is thriving. So
I think Ghosty, iTerm, how can iTerm too actually, and like Alacrity Kitty, like all these terminals, they came in the right time. Like I mean, they have different time like of like release, but they came like in the maturity in the right time of like this. How can I say the age of AI where a lot of stuff is happening in the terminal right now, right? I think it's interesting to see like a lot of folks they are not desk like not terminal folks, but now they are like
yeah,
hooked
they're
up.
shifting to the terminal space. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had a few weeks ago we had the creator of WeatherIn. I don't know if you know WeatherIn or chit.sh if you're familiar with these services. But it was discussing this that he thought that like the future was really terminal interfaces, like creating an interface that works for both web and terminals. And I do feel like this is the directions we're heading towards with all these new tools just being terminal first and then
yeah.
web second. But we'll see. We'll see what that goes. For now, we have the Ratty terminal going crazy, and I can't wait to watch this Fireship video. To be honest.
When Orhun terminal went out, like people were actually reaching me out to do features from the terminal, and I was like, no man, I'm not doing these 3D things in here. But I recommended like to use his terminal, just like go for it. Like I think like if it's something that you like, go for it. But I think it's a very unique terminal. Like it's like retro art filters. Like so he has like these filters. They're like from emulators, right? People were going crazy to use even you, right, or before, right? Like you're using like some filters for demo.
Yeah.
And like I was like, dude, like is because these are not the kind of features that you do for heavy hardcore terminal users, but like some people are like really into it. And I was just like, oh man, like and then you unlock like a different kind of users like to a very specific niche.
I mean, I have created an issue on Rio years ago asking for 3D sprites. So, yeah, somebody had to make it happen.
Yeah, dude, go for it. I supported you from the day one.
Yeah. You gave me a thumbs up and closed the issue.
Oh no, I meant about doing the terminal.
Yeah,
You just wanted to be
but he
like
did give
third
a thumbs
David.
up though. He
Yeah,
did give a
yeah.
thumbs up.
Yeah, no, I was nice, I guess. But you did, like, you see, like, in some way, I was also kind of responsible for it. Like, if I never had done, no, sorry, I didn't do. If I have done it, like, Ratty was not going to be born
So you supported me by doing nothing, basically.
by not doing it.
Yeah.
Deep man.
There you go, man. Like, I know, blow your mind, but it's like,
All
Yeah,
right, all right.
yeah, sometimes just doing nothing in open source is good, I guess.
yeah, you see, like, if Alacrity folks did answer Mitchell in the way that he wanted, maybe Ghosty was not going to be born. So you see, like there is the secret of open source in general. Like you don't do other things, certain things, and something is born after it.
Yeah. All right. Next time when we have you on the show, you'll probably write your own operating system and own kernel and everything, probably. So looking forward to
Yeah,
it, man.
I mean that's obvious, I guess. That's the only possible follow-up. So
Yeah.
I think everyone's
The
expecting
only
it.
possible, yeah.
So yeah, get on to it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can't play Dragon Quest no more. You have to.
Dude, I actually trying to win a bid right now for Dragon Quest game, like an old one. And like I just like is literally missing 2 hours to finish the bid. Like the like there's someone in the lead that just waiting to buy it.
What
I mean
game
just
is
mention
it?
it because sorry?
What game is it? What Dragon Quest is it?
Dragon Quest Sentinels of the Starry Skies 9. Sorry, it's Dragon Quest 9 actually. I
Okay.
really like Japanese RPG games, man. Like there's
JRPG.
literally my jam.
Is it a rare game?
No, it's all. I mean, I'm no. I think it's fair. Okay, like it's not really. I have a really rare game that I bought when I was in Japan. I think I could sell for a good money right now. But it's funny because like you buy these things and then you just like in the end of the day you play once, and then your wife just really wants to sell it. But
Fair.
there is the life of collection.
I guess so.
I didn't tell that was normal, man. Like I really geek about these things.
Yeah, I need to get back to some gaming. I never.
Do you have like a Nintendo Switch?
I have the first one, which I haven't played for a long while. But yeah,
Dude, the first one have you played Zelda?
of course I did. Both.
Dude, there is the game. I am playing like for the second time now, the first one. It's just like it's incredible that over time you're just like, whoa man, this game is so good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was mind-blowing when it came out, especially because I was a Zelda fan and it was so different from the other games. I mean,
Yeah.
first open world,
Did you play the
it's kind of crazy.
Tears of Kingdom?
Yeah, I played Tears of the Kingdom, but I
Yeah.
played how was it called? How was the first one called? I forgot already.
The Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild, yes. I played it
Yesterday, I was
way
looking at
more
my GitHub.
than Tears of the Kingdom, I think.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that was like a major hit. Like, I'm trying to finish. Now, after that, I'll probably try to finish the Wind Waker, like that was released for GameCube,
Oh yeah,
and it's for free if
good.
you have the Nintendo's like NESO. Yeah, I don't know the name of that in English. I think it's NSO, but I think it's Nintendo something online, but I don't remember what the S stands for.
Okay, so isn't it like the Nintendo Switch Online or?
Yes, exactly. There is if you have that like you can.
Yeah, you have you have access to retro games and stuff. I had
Yeah.
that for some time, I think, and then
But I think
stopped.
the GameCube actually is only available on Nintendo Switch too, so it could be that you cannot get the Wind Waker.
Yeah, I've played Wind Waker before, so that's okay. But it is a game that's I think among Zelda games that I would replay because it's just so unique.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Good games.
Yeah, once again, thanks for coming to the show, man. Appreciate it.
No worries. I appreciate you guys like allowing me to talk here.
I will reach out to you if I need a suggestion on which Dragon Quest game to play.
Dude, now we're talking. Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy.